Hello loves, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down the full moon in Aquarius. This is happening August 1st. We have 3 moons in August. It's definitely a very potent time. The energy is going to be really high. It's a lot happening. But we're going to jump in and talk about it. There's a lot going on. We're going to start with the planetary position as always. We'll move into the aspects, and then we'll look at the tarot and the oracle cards as well. Before we get started, do not forget that we are going to Egypt next year in January. It's going to be amazing. I'm really excited because we're going to have a full moon in Leo ritual. We're going to be doing some Kemetic spirituality. We're going to be on the Nile River. We're going to be taking spiritual baths. We're going to be going to the pyramids. We're going to be going to the temples. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be iconic. So definitely make sure that you definitely reserve your spot. There's still some spots left for early bird for those who are going to want the discount. But it's going to be amazing, and I cannot wait to go on this trip with y'all. Like, y'all don't even know. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait. Anyway, with that being said, we're gonna jump in and get started. Also, we're gonna be doing a little something for Lionsgate. Keep an eye out. I'm gonna keep you guys posted, but we're gonna be doing something special for Lionsgate. So stay tuned. Anyway, so we're gonna jump in. Planetary positions: the sun will be in Leo, moon will be in Aquarius, Mercury will be in Virgo, Venus will be in Leo in retrograde, Mars will be in Virgo, Jupiter will be in Taurus, Saturn will be in Pisces in retrograde, Uranus will be in Taurus, Neptune will be in Pisces in retrograde, Pluto will be in Capricorn in retrograde. So definitely lots of retrogrades going on currently. The energy is definitely, obviously there's a lot of earth in the chart from the Virgo and the Taurus energies. There's some water, and then that fire energy from the Leo energy that is present. Venus is retrograde right now, so there's definitely a lot of re-evaluation, revisioning, refantasizing certain things that we're going to talk about. Some of the major aspects that are happening, especially starting with the sun will be in an opposition to the moon. Because the moon is in Aquarius, Aquarius does oppose Leo energy anyway. They're sister signs, they oppose each other. But the energy is definitely mirroring an internal aspect versus the external, internal realizations and breakthroughs versus external pleasure that's definitely needed during this time. The Leo energy definitely has been heightened since Cancer season, and there's definitely been a shift, and I know you guys have definitely felt that shift. She a potent shift. But the energy is definitely meant to push you into reevaluating where you're at emotionally, where you're at and what you want moving into the future, because the moon is in Aquarius, right? So this particular full moon is definitely one that is meant to push you into your emotional evolution of what you want moving into the future versus what you could potentially be stuck in the present. And I say that because the sun is in Leo, and Leo is a fixed sign, Aquarius is a fixed sign too, but Aquarius is very much tied to the future energies, the futuristic energies, and how to progress, how things, especially through chaos, through any drama, anything that gets stirred up during this time, how it moves into the future and grounds itself within its fixed energy. So when you look at, for example, the sun being a square with Jupiter, and the moon being in a square with Jupiter, this is a time where things might feel like they're being a little bit extra chaotic. Like, you might notice the energy be a little bit like it ping pongs from one thing to another. Like, 1 second the energy's like you might find yourself in an argument, you might find yourself very heated argument, you might find yourself very emotional, and then the other second you're just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, you might find yourself really not trying to navigate a lot of different energy. It might feel weird at first. It might feel a little bit all over the place. It might feel really frustrating, emotionally frustrating as well. And you might be trying to, just really trying to find a middle ground into coming back into feeling good, because Leo energy is really about that pleasure, feeling good, vibing, like really trying your best to sit within your self-care and to also love others very openly. And so when something's going wrong during this period of time, it can feel very all over the place. And because the moon in Aquarius is like, Aquarius energy can be very chaotic, it is co-ruled by the planet of chaos, which is Uranus. There might be some things that get stirred up during this period of time, especially with the Jupiter energy. being expanded, where your ego or your emotions might literally like stir some things up that it maybe needed to come out. Like maybe some truths need to come out during this period of time, but it just maybe it gets blown out of proportion, especially with the Jupiter energy. So just be very mindful that like how you're communicating. If you decide, you know what, I'm gonna be honest today and I'm gonna say what I need to say, it might go to that conversation might lead you to some very unexpected places. Mercury will also be in an opposition to Saturn, so communication wise, there is some karmic consequences that are happening when it comes to our communication. You might be feeling like there's like an instant karma with certain things that you're saying. You might get called out, like if you're like, you know what, I want this and blah blah blah, and then you know whoever it is that you're having this conversation with, it's like, okay, but you say that, but X, Y, C, and B, you haven't been doing this, you haven't been doing that, you haven't been doing da, 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 and then all of a sudden you have like a list of like things that you're just like, whoa, I didn't expect that, you know, and it just kind of comes out of the blue. Yeah, be very mindful of, you know, not being realistic with your conversations. You're not always right about everything. You might be the villain in the story too, so keep an eye out. You might actively get called out and kind of be put in your place. There might be some karmic repercussions when it comes to your communication. There might be some karmic consequences. You might say something just to like hurt someone or to be just like snap back at somebody, and then it could just end up hurting you and coming back to bite you in the end. So you got to be very mindful with your communication, because Saturn is gonna make sure you feel the heat about that. Venus is also in a square with Uranus. So there's definitely a lot of chaos happening within relationships, and I can see that with the tarot as well. There's a lot of chaos happening with relationships. Certain things are being stirred up, certain things are being shaken up in order for change to happen. Like there's certain things that might have needed to happen in order for like things to break through, to have these like separate breakthroughs. So just keep that in mind. Don't negate or push away the things that need to happen right now. Try to address things presently and try to be honest as best as you can. Just don't do it to get back at somebody. Do it to stand up for what it is that you're feeling, because then you're actually going to be able to navigate conversations a lot clearer and not out of spite. Okay, so be careful with the chaotic energy, because it can stir up a lot of things. There might be like some breakups during this specific full moon, so keep that in mind. Okay. Mars will be in a trine with Jupiter. So when I tell you like certain things could get blown out of proportion, you might be a little bit too loud. You might say something that you don't mean later, or that like maybe you meant it in the moment, but then you're gonna have to regret it later. Be very, very mindful with how you choose to act during this period of time. This is a really great time to be very directional when it comes to your future intentions, especially if you want to shake things up in your life and have and tap into your futuristic energies. When it comes to manifesting for the future, it's a great time for that. But when it comes to like present tense, if you're trying to like just really go bat to bat with someone, it can blow up in your face. Like the energy is not here for like very well balanced communication. It's like, oh, you want to get loud? Okay, let me just completely wreck this whole situation, and then you're just gonna be in your feelings for a whole ass couple weeks. Trying to get yourself together. So you have to be very mindful of what you're choosing to fuel your fire in, because it might backfire. Okay, Uranus will also be in a trine with Pluto. There's a lot of transformation and chaos happening during this period of time, and you might feel, especially with the retrogrades, you might feel especially spiritually very inclined to certain changes, or feeling like you're getting tugged and pulled in a certain direction, and trying to navigate what that means, especially if it's forcing you to kind of leave something behind that you care about. So just keep that in mind. Be very gentle with yourself. When in doubt, you know, get a reading and check in. But the energy is very presently chaotic. There's a lot of soul transformations. There's certain things that are happening because of past lives and because of your own internal transformations that need to happen as well. So you have to be very, very mindful of, you know, how you're behaving, but also the things that are triggering your transformations. It might literally be your own mouth. It might literally be, you know, your own actions, or somebody else triggering some chaos in order for action to happen. And so when you're kind of stuck in the middle of that storm, it can feel like, I just want things to be okay, but it might be a window of like moving into the future that you need to be in. So you do have to keep that in mind as well. So yeah, when it comes to this particular full moon, is definitely going to be, it's a lot of different energies. And do you expect anything else from an Aquarius moon? I don't think you should. When it comes to the tarot, you have the Two of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Eight of Swords, right? And then moving into the Strength card, the Page of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. It's like there's certain things that you might want that, you know, if you're in a relationship and you're just like kind of stuck and you haven't been able to progress where you want to go, because it seems like there's some intention, some deeper grounded intentions that you want to get to. If it hasn't gotten there, there's definitely a sense of feeling stuck, and a sense of feeling like how are we going to progress from this. So there's like a need of like going in a separate direction. So for some people it is a breakup, for some people it is it could be a rekindling too. It could be, you know, you are as a couple coming together in a different way, you are reconnecting in a different way, and you are reprioritizing like your vows or your goals or whatever. But this needs to be addressed. The communication and the mental stuff needs to be addressed, because it's causing too much issues, too much mental health issues, too much emotional turbulence. Like bottom of the deck, it's coming out of Cancer season. It's like you should not be feeling like you don't really know where things stand. You should not be feeling like that. And if you're feeling that it's a problem. And then we're getting meditate and home. So there's a sense of like a destabilization when it comes to, again, that the fixed energy, that you feeling comfortable, like your pleasure, especially how you're connecting when it comes to love and relationships with other people, and how things are grounding themselves or not grounding themselves. And right now it's like, okay, I'm either going to choose me, or we're going to have to revisit this and ground, or we're going to have a problem. So that's the breakdown for this moon. I hope you guys got all of the messages that you needed. Definitely make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Take your spiritual baths. Definitely work with the air element for this, especially if you're, you know, feeling like your communication can be a little spicy this particular moon. Definitely make sure you're journaling, work with the air element, and make sure you take your spiritual bath, because you're going to need it, especially with the high rising of emotions that is happening. But with that being said, I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. I will see you on the next one. Have a very blessed day.